Hi, my name is Monte Tilgner with the Iowa High School Athletic Association. This will be our training review for week 4 in the state of Iowa. We've got 13 plays to look at this week. First one is illegally kicking the ball and what's the enforcement. So it's a pretty unique play. We don't have a lot of times where we have an illegally kicked ball. So remember, with illegally kicking or illegal batting, that means it has to be an intentional act. And this ball was muffed, and then this player here is deemed to have um, intentionally kicked this ball to prevent his opponents from picking it up, and then he picks it up and he advances it for an apparent touchdown. They do properly rule this as intentionally kicking the ball, and remember penalty enforcement, since this is behind the previous spot. This fumble and this foul is by the team not in possession, and it is behind the previous spot. So the previous spot is going to be the basic spot, and we would enforce that then for 10 yards from the previous spot. So we are going to go back to position 3 at the 42-yard line. Since it's fouled by the defense, we're going to go we're going to go 15 or 10 yards forward from the 42 to the 32, and it will result in a first down. So interesting play. Just remember, illegally kicking or illegally batting the ball has to be an intentional act. If you are not sure, it is not intentional and it would not be a foul. Good job by the crew. Very smart, great play if we're in college, but in high school, this is a foul for illegal participation in NFHS football. So let's take a look here. Player sees this ball is going to be there. He lays down, gets his feet out of bounds, then he reaches out and touches the ball. So in college, great job. We've got a kickoff out of bounds. In high school, with NFHS rules, this is illegal participation, and that is a 15-yard penalty, and this is going to be enforced from the previous spot. So the team would be kicking off. The team would re-kick. There's no This is not going to be enforced, from half the distance from this spot. It is a previous spot enforcement, so they're going to kick off 15 yards in advance of this, and they could relocate that ball to a different ball position if they want. But if they want to kick it from the middle of the field, they're now going to be kicking it off from the positive 45-yard line. Good rules knowledge to understand that is illegal participation. Okay, forward fumble out of bounds. New rule. Remember, in order for this rule to come into play, all of those things need to be the case. We need a forward fumble, only forward fumbles, and it needs to go out of bounds. So in this case, what you can see is we are going to have this player fumble the ball, and the ball is going to go forward, and it is going to hit the pylon. So we know when that ball hits the pylon, it is dead. Ball is loose right there at about the half-yard line. Hits the pylon, and therefore, remember, we're not going to reward this offensive team and bring this back to the fumble spot. This part of the rule did not change. If the forward fumble out of bounds would result in a touchback, that is what we have. So we do have a touchback. It is properly enforced that way by the crew. And remember the points up here. After a touchback, the team can start the possession from position 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So quickly ask the coach and find out where he wants that ball to be snapped. Remember, difference. If we have a kickoff out of bounds, the coach does not get the choice of ball position. If it goes out of bounds at the top of the screen, that would go to position number 5. If the ball would go to the bottom of the screen, it would be position number 1. All right, next play. Really important to have a good understanding of rules, knowledge, and philosophy on forward progress. So this is a really big thing here to understand. It makes a big difference in a play like this. So you can see what we have here is we definitely have forward progress, and then that ball comes out. So right now he's getting driven backwards. So we have what we call progress hanging, forward progress hanging. So where's forward progress hanging? Right there at the 50-yard line. So unless he gets free and is on his own, uh, we're going to spot that ball at the 50-yard line. If after this progress, we can see he still has the ball, now that ball gets ripped out. Okay, so this is not a fumble. We need to rule this forward progress. You can see we drop a bag there, and I think they got together and talked about it and decided to go forward progress and not have a fumble. Hopefully they did, because we would want this ball to be spotted at the 50-yard line. We would not want that to be a fumble. So if progress is stopped and the ball comes out after that, we do not have a fumble. And we want our when in doubt to be that we had ruled forward progress stopped. All right, next play, we've got slow whistle is a good whistle, so just really good piece of officiating here. You can see, went a little too far, sorry. This player ends up going down on top of another player. His hand goes down, no other body part. He gets up and he runs, and we do a good job of not having a quick whistle right there and ruling him down. We see that he landed on top of another player. We continue to officiate, and we're going to give him all that progress down. Um, and that's what we want to do. So make sure that we have a body part other than a hand that is down to make that runner down. Good job officiating. Okay, we've got several of these. We're doing a much better job, so that's good. We want to continue to be consistent. This one's a little different, though. This illegal personal contact against the defense player. This can be against a player of Team A or Team B. So good awareness and good call on this. This is the first time I've seen this year, but we've got the same big hit, but it occurs on an interception. So with that being the case, we still have a foul. All right, so here we go. Interception, boom, hit, goes down, not a wrap up. Okay, so that is attacking. That is our rule. So what we're going to have is after the change of possession, we've got this personal foul. So we have a running play that started right at when he intercepts that ball. We have a running play. So what's our basic spot on a running play? The end of the run. So we're going to be at the 49-yard line here. And we have a foul by the team not in possession now, so we're going to force that from the basic spot, which is the end of the run. So we are going to go from the 15 yards from the 49 to the 46, 41, 36-yard line, and we would be at position 1 for the next snap. So good job. You can see the flag come out here. Nice work, and good piece of officiating by the crew. Okay, another one. This is 100% a foul for illegal personal contact against an offensive player. That rule again is 943G and 23216, and it's this is the type of hit this rule is put in for. So it's a hard one to get. So let's first of all take a look here. This is the player that's going to do it, and if we go back to our initial responsibilities at the snap, we know that our back judge is going to be down here on the bottom side with the trips, these outside two guys, and our line judge is going to be on this inside guy. But the back judge is going to do a good job. He's reading this quarterback, and his players were not were free of foul, so he's peeking over there to that side, which means that we really need our line of scrimmage official to pick this up. So not an easy one. We got to be disciplined, and we need to not be ball watching, stay in our zone, because that's one we need to get. All right, and that's the official at the bottom of the screen that would have that. The back judge is probably looking over at that other side of the field at that case. So if we would get this, it was a third down play, incomplete pass. If we would get this, it would be half the distance to the goal, and that distance would result in a first down instead of, if we don't get it, having a fourth down play. All right, blindside blocks away from the action must be called to clean things up and not let things escalate. So, really good job of officiating away from the play by this referee. So, just initial responsibilities here at the snap. We've got our back judge at the top of the screen with the trips, with the outside two guys. Our headline judge has that inside receiver, that number 3 receiver. There's two guys out here, so our line judge at the bottom has both of these receivers that you can see there. And you see here, again, we've got a linebacker that's going to come out, and he's just going to take out that player. And who's going to see it? The line judge at the bottom of the screen is going to be watching this ball being passed here for, DPI, catch no catch. The back judge may be on that too. That is his guy. So back judge may pick it up, but we really need this to be picked up again by our backside wing. So you guys need to make sure you're not ball watching and officiate action away from the ball so we can get those type of fouls. Now, this one is not the same as the last one. This one is a legal play, and oops, sorry. So what we're going to have is player who he legally blocks him down, and this time he starts to get up, so he pushes him to the ground, legally lands on top of him, but then he lets him up. This is not a personal foul and not an offensive hold because he does let him up. If he keeps laying on him, get to them and tell him to get off of him. And if he doesn't, then you could have a flag for a personal foul, but give them the opportunity to get up when they hear your voice. We did have another play. I thought I had it in here, but I guess not, where similar type action, the player's starting to get up and actually he's not getting up at all. And then the player jumps back on top of him. And that's one that we would want called for a personal foul. In this case, you can see he doesn't jump on him when he's already on the ground. This guy is getting up. He blocks him again. Then they go down, but then he does let him up. So there will be no foul on this particular play. This is the one I should have bumped this one ahead. This one I was talking about. So let's watch this action here. Now, this is different because this player does legally push him to the ground, okay? But maybe a hold, but maybe he slipped. I don't know. But anyway, when this player's on the ground, he can't jump on him, or that's a UNR. Okay, so the previous play, the player was starting to get up. He blocked him again and then ended up on top of him. In this one, you can see what we have is this player is on the ground. This, oops, sorry, didn't mean to draw that arrow. This player is on the ground. He's not trying to get up, and then we jump on top of him. That we would want per personal foul. Okay, field goal mechanics for the state of Iowa outside the 25-yard line. Remember, we are going to have just the back judge underneath the post, and we are going to keep both line of scrimmage officials at their normal spots, and our back judge will simply go side to side to make this ruling. So we don't get to see the actual result here, but this ball snapped at or outside the 25-yard line. We will keep both our line judge and headline judge on the line of scrimmage. Our back judge will go underneath the uprights, and then he will have enough time to move side to side to make that ruling. Last play, a successful onside kick, and what to look for. So let's just take a look at the play. First of all, you can see, they all are onside. No one encroaches, so that's good. And then we do have a small bounce. This is not one that would go up high enough to be ruled dead. And now this ball has bounced and gone 10 yards. So at this point, once this ball goes 10 yards, it's free to be touched by anybody. and we don't have any touching there. We don't have a block below the waist here because this is not intentional. And then we have a recovery there. Okay, so um, we did have 4 in the box. We're anticipating that onside kick. And to talk about timing a little bit, minimum 1 second must come off the game clock because the clock starts when it's legally touched in the field of play. The ball is dead when possessed by K. So in this case, since K cannot advance a kick, it's their ball at the spot of recovery. Since he fielded cleanly, in this case, no time will come off the game clock. If he had muffed it and then possessed it, at least 1 second would come off the game clock. Um, if we have a team, our player who fields the ball upright and then goes down, a minimum of 1 second would have to come off the clock. So again, just reviewing a little bit, some of those things we're looking at is we know that we need to look for encroachment first of all, and then we know that right now team K would not be able to touch this ball because it has not gone 10 yards. That'd be illegal touching if they did. We also know that until that ball goes 10 yards, we could not have a K player come up and initiate a block. All right, so that'll be our plays for this week. Thanks for sending them in, and we'll talk to you again next week.